It's no exposing it. I got hit, then you got hit, that's how it's supposed to be. If I want you dead, then you dead, there's no controlling me. 40 clip, 30 clip, 50 clip.
Yo, what's good with y'all again? It's Lazy Reborn again. I'm here to talk to y'all about Dragon Ball Chronicles. It's been around for a minute. I'm not sure if you guys remember that game or heard about it. There's been like other reenactments of it, but it's coming back again from the fifth wave or Wadey Boy, if you remember him as. He's been around for a while. Today I'm gonna be doing a Q&A with Wade and Satan. Uh, they are both, it's the community manager and the owner of the game. They're just gonna be telling me like all about like the kinks and everything in the game, just questions that I got for the community, release date and everything. So just make sure to tune in and check it out. And thank you. All right, guys, what's good? What's good, Wave? What's good, Satan?
What's up?
Hello,
All
my
right, I'm
brother.
gonna be asking some questions, on the game and shit. Cause I'm back at it with another DBC reenactment. The last one, the final one, the
It's like
final
the
one.
seventh game or
Okay,
something.
okay, but yeah, I'm gonna ask y'all some questions for the people. I mean, it's like what I came up with. I'm gonna get more questions. Hopefully they'll be answered throughout the Discord and shit. I'll link them in the Discord, in the comments and shit. But here we go. The
Yes,
first
yeah.
question is, what are the things that make this Dragon Ball game unique from the others?
You
You
want
want
to
to
ask
take this,
me?
Don?
All right, I'll take this. What are things that make this Dragon Ball game unique from others? Well, everything is from ground up, is what I can say. This DBZ game is nothing like any other DBZ game that has ever been made on in terms of Roblox. This DBZ game does take a lot of inspiration from Dragon Ball. What was it called? Um, s- what is the game called? It was wait, fuck, what was it called? It's this.
I'm not
It's the
sure
game that
which
you
one you're
play a lot.
talking about
It's the game that you
specifically.
play a lot.
Are you oh, Dragon Universe? That's what you're talking
Thank
about.
you. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Dragon
Yeah,
Universe.
I
Dragon. It
remember that
takes a
game.
lot from Dragon Universe and a another game that you played as well. That was like
ESF,
yeah,
the
ESF.
combat,
Thank you. Yeah,
anyways.
ESF. The
Takes
combat wise,
inspiration. Yeah.
yeah, it takes inspiration from ESF and some of the mechanics, or not really mechanics, but ideas come from Dragon Universe or DU per se. If you ever played that.
Okay,
Yeah.
This
okay.
this this game is going to be probably the most in terms of in-depth, realistic version of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Especially
Yeah,
like in terms of just how like there's other Dragon Ball games where it's like it's more simpler, and it's because they're public games and supposed to be kept on that level of simplicity for the younger audience. But since this one is closed, it's got a lot more of a complicated and in-depth systems and whatnot, with even just the basic things like how weights affect your training, or gravity mastery and all that is very complicated systems. And that's just one part of
oh
training,
yeah, I'm
right?
ready.
So it's just not like
Oh
any
yeah,
other
I'm ready.
Dragon Ball game when it comes to like pretty much everything. It's just very in-depth. So
Oh
Okay,
yeah, I'm ready.
okay, okay. I mess with that. Uh, Let me get this ready. So, next question is, how many races you think are gonna be in the game?
Well,
um well,
you can
currently,
answer this.
we've got human, Saiyan. We got a couple of alien variants, but they're all separate races. So it's like the Jin race, Hera, which is Bojack, and Yardrat, some other races in there. We got Demon and whatnot, but the only we've considered adding more races, right?
Okay.
But with how we're doing the planet system and factions and everything, we're trying to keep the races balanced within each planet, like an equal amount. That way, not one planet has too much of an advantage over another in terms
Yeah,
of
that makes sense. Makes
player
sense.
count and everything. So before we can add more races, we need
The
to make
battery
sure
cell
that
will be.
it has progression to make it stronger to match up
What?
with the
I
other
was in
races.
VC, bro.
Keep it balanced.
Got his ass.
And then we need enough
Got his
races to
ass.
Y'all
actually.
jumped us
Got his
3 times.
We have to have like at least 3 or 4 at a time if we want to keep that player balance, like the player count wise and everything. So we got to be
Ah,
careful with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Really good answer. Really good answer. Yeah, I fuck with that. Um, How is the progression gonna be in the game? Like, how do you guys think it's gonna feel, and how
Well,
you guys think it's gonna like
Okay,
just be in general?
so progression in terms of how progression will be, it will be. I want to say it will be how active you are. Your progression is going. Your progression will only be halted if you hold your own progression. I can say it for that part, but in the portion of how progression is going to be in terms of races, like in that term, like of like progression in terms of like how race progression is going to be and stuff.
Lazy.
Yeah. So basically, it's gonna be like progression in a whole sense. Like, I mean, you guys can answer both for like each and every like. So, how is it gonna be in general, and then how's it gonna be for each race?
Okay. Um. Okay. For I'll let Wade answer the race portion, but I'll do the I guess overall player portion. So how your progression is going to be based off of in terms of training, you know, other other capabilities of what you can do in terms of the game for training and stuff. You have your base training where you do weight training, push-ups, meditation, all that per se. And then there's trainings where you can train with players in terms of your friends, or if you have other people in here, you can train, spar each other. You can train that way. It's in broad span of how they trained in DBZ is what you can do there.
Ah, okay.
There is my bad. I think this portion goes with it too. There is mentors that you can learn from. I won't tell you how, but there are mentors in game that teaches you certain things, such as skills and stuff that can help towards your progression as well. Some races have, their set variants of skills depending on what it is, but you can learn stuff from them as well. You can learn from anyone, but there is mentors and stuff that you can learn from within the game.
Yeah, okay. That sounds really good. Okay. Um, how about the racial progression? Or
Racial
did you just
progression.
cover that bit in
Okay.
it?
Well, no. So racial progression is So obviously, it really depends on the race. Like Saiyan progression is pretty
Yeah.
streamlined. It's Super Saiyan, right? There's not very
Mhm.
much complication there. Just unlock Super Saiyan. But when it comes to other races, we had to get a lot more creative. Since like human, for example, you think of a human and you're like, what the
Yeah,
fuck do
you
I
don't
give
know
the
what to
progression
give
on a
them.
human,
Yeah.
right? And so we had to get a lot more creative there, and we came up with some interesting things. But I can't really go in detail
Yeah,
about
of
like
course.
human
You don't
progression
have
and
to. You
whatnot.
don't have
But
to. Yeah, leave it up to the player base to discover and learn.
yeah, exactly. But there is every race will have some form of progression at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, next question. How many planets are there in the game, and how much do you think they're gonna be on the release of the game?
On the release of the game, I guess we can safely say there will be about
I mean, we're gonna have at least our alien planet, which is like where most aliens will be at.
Mm.
Planet Vegeta, Earth, and then Namek. That'll be our four core planets.
Oh,
We might
Earth,
have
Earth, Earth too.
some. Did I not say Earth?
Nah, you didn't say Earth.
All right. Well, yeah, of course we'll have Earth.
Well, I think I'm dumb, but yeah, I think you said Earth, but it's
Yeah. So
yeah.
we'll have our. Those are our four main planets where the core gameplay will be at pretty much. But we're also gonna have. We might add some more planets as we go. Um, and then I mean, see, there's some other things with like planets. I'm putting this in quotation because it doesn't have the same function as Planet Vegeta and Earth, right? Where those like main player areas versus other planets, which are going to be for other things.
Yeah.
I was gonna
But
say I
yeah,
was gonna
that's most I can say about that,
No,
really.
I was gonna
no,
say
yeah.
just look forward to certain stuff that's going to be featured in the game that revolves around planets. That's
Yeah, just
basically what you can say.
space exploration and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds really dope, really dope. Okay. Um, how are the events gonna work, and how frequent do you think they're gonna be?
Okay.
So
Because that's a major thing that people really want to know when it comes down to a
yeah,
Dragon Ball
so
game.
with Dragon Ball Chronicles, we always put our events in the spotlight, right? It's
Yeah.
very we get cutscenes and our prologues and everything before every event.
Yeah.
But we still plan on doing them. But for the first bit of the release, it's going to be more community focused. and just making sure the game is stable and smooth, everything goes well before we get into events. Just because
Yeah, that's really good because
we've been a lot more focused on just like producing content, right? Versus we came up with a bit of lore and we have like a general idea of what we're going to be doing, but
yeah,
we haven't gone too in depth or started like working too much on that kind of portion of the game yet.
yeah, I like that. I like that you guys are focusing on the, the functions of the game and stuff, rather because lore could always come after. So yeah, it's alright. Uh, how do you think they're like? How frequent do you think they're gonna be though? Like when you do get around to, dropping the events.
All right, so I mean, all right, it'll vary with like how fast we can put them out, right? I mean, so the best example I can give is like, let's say we've got some, a more regular event like a tournament or something, whatever, something along those lines, or like, you know, something that's a bit more tame, right?
Yeah, of course.
That would probably take. I mean, I want to aim for one a week. We could probably do more if we really pushed it, but it wouldn't be worth it, right?
Yeah,
But if we have like a big event happening, like some final battle or whatever, something important, it might take upwards of 2 weeks at least, maybe even longer depending on what it is, just to make sure it'll go smoothly and everything made for it is of high quality and everything like that, just to make sure we've got the time and don't have to work our asses off within that week period and just rush it and produce something that's not as good as it could be.
oh, okay, okay, I like that. Okay. Any interesting concepts or new concepts that the game offers from your past games?
Um, I mean, okay, so the best way to describe this, I guess, in my eyes at least, is there's just a lot of things that are like we took the weight system right from old DBC, and it was like you buy this weight, buy that weight, and we just upgraded it basically. So it's like now you can adjust your weight to whatever weight you want by talking to an NPC. So you can just continuously upgrade your weights. That's like one thing that's different. And I mean everything basically, it's just the game taken up a notch, right? And there's just a lot more new systems. We can talk about missions, I guess. So content, right? Shit for people to do besides just spar all the time and wait for events was like a really big focus for us because in past games, I mean, it's not like people didn't enjoy it, training and everything, and just having fun, the events and everything, but we want people to have something to do at like always, right?
Yeah.
Be a lot more immersive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the old DVCs, it was basically just, train, get ready for the event, train, get ready for the event.
Yeah, exactly. So we made basically like auto-generated encounters and whatnot in space, and then there's missions on every single planet of some kind. They're not very like advanced. So for example, on Earth, it's like you talk to an NPC, you deliver supplies. That's like your base, like early game grinding. You won't be doing that much in the later part of the game unless you feel like it, right?
Yeah.
But then eventually, as you progress, you'll be doing a lot more like advanced missions, be it fighting like a boss with like a whole group of like 10 people because it's like a raid boss. It's going to be a hard fight. You bring all those people with you, do that. There'll be a lot of content like that, just stuff for people to be doing regardless, just for the progression. And that'd be better than even just training, right? Because then it's just better progression, getting money, getting power level while you're at it, doing everything, just improve your ability to get stronger, and having fun while you're doing it is the most important thing.
Yeah, that is the most important. Okay. Okay.
And, I'll add one more thing to this. Actually.
Feel free to. There you go.
In comparison to the other games, we wanted there to be a lot more tension between players because it was so calm when everyone was on the same side, it was good for events, right?
Yeah.
But when there was no events, there was a bit of fighting and whatnot between some people who had minor rivalries, but it was nothing compared to
barely,
barely.
Barely.
If you take like a Naruto game, for example, which we took a lot of inspiration from that genre this time for at least our faction system. We wanted to create that tension between players where they have like, rivalries between entire groups of people, right?
Yeah.
So we did that with our factions, and there should be just a lot more competition this time in terms of this is our group of people, that's your group of people, we're enemies. If we see you, we're fighting you. That's how we wanted to.
As in, like,
kind of
it's more
put
like
people against each
rewarding
other.
to, like, put people
Exactly.
against each other.
There's a reason to fight.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's amazing because in these games, there should be like player versus player to add like, conflict to the game. To add like a little spice to the lore and everything.
I mean, there was PvP in the old games, but it
Not
wasn't.
really
There wasn't really
of
much
it,
of a
yeah.
reason to,
Not
right?
really much beef, just
And even then,
over
there
this.
wasn't really PvE either. It was pretty much just grinding and then fighting events, I guess, right?
Hmm.
And also
Yeah, I
fighting
felt
players
that.
once in a while. But now there's both, so you always have something to do.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Okay, okay. Uh, how fast is progression gonna be in the game? Because that's a major issue in these Dragon Ball Z games. It's either really
Okay.
fast, too slow, or it's just
Okay, so
like,
we're definitely leaning towards the too slow side right now. I'm actually thinking about adjusting them because of how bad it is. But we've got some systems in place to make sure that it'll go. All right, so basically, let's say we have our cap set to 300, right?
yeah,
That's our soft cap, right?
yeah,
So once you get to 300, you can go past 300 up to like 1,200, right? So 4 times the soft cap. But once you get
okay.
past that soft cap, the closer you are to the hard cap, the slower you're going to start training, right?
Oh, that's
So that'll make it so
very
people
interesting.
who are behind have time to catch up, right?
Yeah, okay.
And if you're half of the soft cap, you actually train about 2 times faster as well.
Mm,
That way, people who are behind will have the ability to catch up, right? Because that was a major issue in the other games. For people who were ahead, would just permanently stay ahead. But I
yeah,
also didn't want to make it so that people who were ahead would just get fucked and just couldn't do anything anymore, right? Once you get to cap, everyone catches up with you. You wasted your time. So that's why we added that soft cap, hard cap system for those people who just want to grind and stay at the top. But also, the people will be able to shorten the gap at least a good bit.
yeah, yeah. Sounds really good. Okay, I like that answer. Okay. How much people do you want in the game on release? I know this question is gonna be very, valued to be heard. So,
Okay. We've been talking numbers a little bit, right? Like so, like Dom, we were talking earlier, like how the other games had. I think we're averaging like 100-ish concurrent in the last DBC, right?
Yeah.
That was all right. I mean, I think that was our first time we had that many people on at once concurrently, which proved to be a bit of an issue in terms of management. There was a lot of things we had to deal with, but we got that sorted out now. We have experience with that. The only thing is, I'm not sure. Like, we're probably gonna start with less people right away, and we'll slowly letting towards more people in once we have it all stabilized. And there's gonna be bugs on release. There's no way there won't be. I mean,
yeah,
we've been
of
testing a
course.
lot, but there will be something, right? And we're gonna fix that and all. And maybe once that is handled and we have less, we can focus more on the community and less on the game. We'll be able to let more people in. But to give an exact number is hard.
No, of course.
But on release, I mean, 100 in the group probably,
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
a little after that, we'll start letting more people in.
Yeah, gradually. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
We
Uh,
definitely aren't going to want over like 300 active people ever, though. That would be
yeah,
way too
yeah,
much.
that would be a lot for y'all. But okay, and lastly, when do you think the game is going to drop? Any estimated times that you wouldn't say? You don't have to bring it up. It's just like it could be whatever you say. Like what you think.
Okay, so we've been throwing around a lot of stuff, right? People have said, "Oh, yeah, there's testers who be like, oh yeah, game will be out really soon, Tuesday." Like, okay, Tuesday is possible, right? But it's not likely currently,
Okay,
right?
so you mean this Tuesday,
Yeah,
the
I,
the 9th. Okay, but it's possible. Yeah. Okay.
it's possible, but not likely at all, in my opinion. Because it really depends. Like, we've been getting more and more stuff to work on as we've been working on it, right?
Yeah.
New things come up. So I feel like, it could be anywhere from 2 days to 2 weeks, right? I do want to have it out before summer, though, at least for my own sanity. My summer, anyway, which is 24th of August.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Before summer ends, is what I meant there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. All right. All right. That sounds good. That sounds good. Any extra things that you guys want to add on? Cause I'm out of questions now.
Don?
Shoot. Let's see. What else can we talk about? Because we kind of cleared everything.
Yeah. Y'all basically did.
I guess in terms of, oh, right.
Oh, I got one too. Okay.
For people that talked about how there was not a lot of variants of skills in the old DBC game, you do not have to worry about that because as the game progresses, there will be different things for you to get. There still will be possible move drops, but it's the fact that when you train with someone, we don't want your inventory to be cluttered with like thousands or not thousands, but like monopoly amount of moves and shit in your inventory. We want it to be as clean and sleek for you as possible. So
Yeah, which is why we added the trainers and mentor
Yeah.
system, right? So basically, you're gonna be capped to a couple of moves, right? Especially with how our combat is. If you had too many moves, you'd be infinite comboing people, right? Which would be a problem. At least you were stronger than them anyway. So there's that. And on top of the fact that just like with how we had the mentor system, you'll get a good bit of skills, right? But then we're actually gonna make it so you can get other things by chance, which will add on to that skill set. But yeah, the other games, not enough skills. This one, not something to be worried about at all.
yeah.
Okay. And my last question will be for also like a people pleaser. How do you
What'd you
think
say?
people are gonna
Oh.
be able to get in the game?
Oh.
Because
Ugh.
that's a major thing for people who aren't known and stuff, and they gotta try to get in the game. And I know a lot of the viewers would like to know too. So like, how do you think?
See, all right, that question. Normally I make this game for myself and my friends and just have fun, right? And so, if you know someone in the game, it'll be a lot easier to get in. I think that goes without saying, especially if there's someone who's, I wouldn't say relevant, but just someone who's closer to myself or just more powerful in the game even.
Yeah.
Because they'll have more importance to the lore and everything. But if you want to get in and you don't have any of these things, it's possible. Definitely is going to require a bit of luck. Maybe we'll do giveaways or something once in a while.
Like I say, I mean, if you're constantly active within the chat, people recommend you.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably. I know we did art contests and whatnot in the previous game,
Yeah,
but
maybe events.
yeah, it's just being active in the chat. They always say active in the chat. Be talking all this, right, dude? I always think when games do that, it's just like
Yeah, it's
I wouldn't
kind
want
of
to
more
sit
of
here
like a
in this
nuisance,
chat
yeah.
and everything, right, and then just
Chat
talk
grind.
all the time and be like, oh, I'm gonna talk in the chat because I'm desperate. Like it's just, I don't know. I'm not. It's very. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I feel like it's a waste of time. It's not gonna. It might. I mean, maybe if you're like, all right, for example, in one of the older games, we had a waiting VC, and I think the guy stayed in voice chat for like 4 days straight waiting. He's like, I'm just staying in this VC until
Oh
I get
yeah,
accepted.
I remember him.
Something like that. Well, yeah, so I think it was in the chat saying, I love Dragon Ball Chronicles or something like that in VC for like 5 hours. And so we accepted him just because it was something unique. It was an interesting guy.
We're not telling y'all to do that. We're not.
No,
telling
yeah,
y'all to
don't do that.
Just
It's not gonna work.
confirm y'all
It's
to
not
get in,
gonna
but
work this time.
He just did something different, and it allowed him to get in. So
Yeah, I don't know. If you want to get in, try to stand out.
yeah, that's the best way. That's the best answer that he can really give off. Because with the specifics, it's really hard to do that. Like get into specific with it. But other than that, yeah, thank you guys. Also, yeah,
Your
just
mic
let you
is
guys
lagging
know.
right now.
Thank you guys for popping out, Wade and Satan. Do you guys want to put anything out there if you like anyone else to know? Or...
I got nothing.
All right.
Yeah, I got nothing either.
All right. Thank you guys for popping out, and I'll see you guys.
All right.
All right.
See ya.